Welcome to the Soul Spark Café. You're listening to this right now in what you think is the third dimension.
Right.
But what if I told you that in a dressing room, just one dimension over, your soul is currently rehearsing like 7 different ways your day could end?
Oh, this is such a wild concept.
It really is. So come on in. I want to warmly welcome you, yes, you, listening right now into this space. Think of this not just as a podcast or a destination, but as a sanctuary.
Exactly. A real sanctuary.
Yeah, a dedicated, quiet frequency where you can step out of the dense noise of your daily life and just, step into a place designed specifically for igniting your spirit and nourishing your soul.
And it is an absolute honor to be here with you today. We are stepping into a frequency that is really designed to feel like a vacation spot among the galaxies.
Oh, I love that. A vacation spot.
Yes, grounded, centered, and steeped in this ancient channeled wisdom. We are here as your spiritual advisors to help you navigate not just the world around you, but the entire infinitely expanding universe within you.
And the mission for our deep dive into these texts today is, honestly, it's profound. We are going to journey all the way back to the origin of creation itself.
We really are going all the way back.
Yeah. We're going to understand the expansion of the Godhead, and then we are going to map out the actual spiritual mechanics of how you can actively dreamscape a new reality for yourself right now.
Because we have to take the cosmological and make it deeply personal and highly practical.
Exactly. But before we can journey to the origins of the universe, we usually have to arrive fully in this present moment.
We do. We cannot engage with high-level spiritual mechanics if our physical vessels are just, wrapped up in the tight, chaotic stress of the day. The source texts are very clear on this. Density blocks transmission.
Density blocks transmission. So let's clear that density right now. I want to guide you through a brief somatic settling process, a sacred state grounding.
Just take a moment for yourself here.
Yeah, wherever you are right now, whether you are walking, driving, or just sitting at home, just pause your internal momentum. I want you to actively unclench your jaw.
Let it drop.
Just let it drop. Now soften your shoulders, let them fall away from your ear.
Feel that release.
And as you do that, let your spine rise naturally as though it is being gently drawn upward by an unseen hand. You don't have to force it.
No forcing.
Just let the architecture of your body support you. Let's take a deep breath in.
And let it out.
So good.
Now that the physical body is settled, we transition this grounded energy into a true spiritual alignment.
Right.
I invite you to receive these words, drawn exactly from the ancient channeled records, specifically the prayer to the God Force. Just let the resonance of this intention wash over your energy field.
I'm ready.
I ask of you to help me be free of all energies of my own making and allow me to find the greatest energetic set point possible this day.
I love that alignment. I really do. But I want to stop and unpack something right here at the start.
Let's do it.
Because often when we talk about entering a sacred state or doing a spiritual alignment, it can feel to some people like a forced discipline.
Oh, absolutely, like a chore.
Right. Like we have to rigidly build a fortress around ourselves or, aggressively force out the negative energy.
Yeah.
We are always told to shield ourselves.
Yes, the constant shielding.
So is this about violently forcing out the dark, or is it something else entirely? Is it just about remembering the light that's already there?
That is a crucial distinction, and one the source texts address beautifully. Protection, true sacred alignment, is never created. It is remembered.
Protection is remembered.
Yes, it is not a fortress you have to exhaust yourself building brick by brick. When you align with your core soul frequency, when you remember your inherent connection to the God source, the dense energies naturally fall away.
Oh, wow. So you aren't fighting them.
Exactly. You aren't forcing anything out. You're simply occupying your space so fully with light that there is no room for anything else. A heart aligned with truth requires no defense. It simply is.
Protection is not created, it is remembered. That completely frames everything we are doing today.
It really does.
Because if we want to understand how to shape our reality now, we have to remember how reality itself was shaped in the very beginning. The source material takes us straight back to the cosmological origins.
We need to explain how the soul was created to truly understand why you, the listener, have the power to actively shape your reality today.
So to understand this, we have to look at what the channeled texts call The primordial question.
Yes, the very beginning, before time, before space, before matter. In the beginning, there was just, well, a lot of nothingness.
And the records refer to it as the vast nothingness of crap, right?
Yes, the vast nothingness of crap. Which sounds funny, but it means raw, chaotic, unrefined, dense potential that hadn't yet been given purpose or form.
So it wasn't bad in a moral sense?
No, not at all. It was just unorganized, energetic debris. And out of that vast nothingness, the ultimate creator created themselves through a single original thought.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because this thought is the catalyst for everything we know. The thought was simply, what can I become?
What can I become? Such a powerful question.
And the physics of how this played out, as detailed in our sources, is stunning. That single thought produced energy.
But energy isn't static.
Right. That energy then vibrated and became frequency, or sound. Those sound waves then produced light,
And with the light, the next thought naturally arose.
which was, how do I see what I have become? And that is when the energy of matter was created. It was frequencies coming together with the energy of thoughts, slowing down enough to become something dense enough to be seen, and eventually to be felt.
Yes, the slowing down of frequency is the literal birth of the physical. And this brings us to the divine algorithm of life.
The divine algorithm.
That primordial question, what can I become?
Yeah.
It didn't just happen once at the dawn of time and then stop.
Oh, it's still happening.
Exactly. It is the fundamental algorithm running through every cell in your body, every layer of your soul, and every galaxy in the cosmos. It is the constant evolution of becoming more than you were before.
So your core soul blueprint is entirely guided by this.
You are the highest embodiment of that original thought, constantly returning to it and deciding if you want to continue your current embodiment or, change and become more of something else.
But if that algorithm is constantly running, making everything expand, you need a system to manage it, right?
Yep, absolutely do.
You can't just have infinite, unchecked expansion without architecture, or you just return to that chaos. And the sources explain that to manage this massive expansion of creation, we have the architecture of the Godhead.
Correct. The Godhead, sometimes referred to in the records as the fatherly realm, is the ultimate administrative architecture of the universe.
The administrative architecture, I like that phrasing.
It consists of 14 original creation avatars. These are the mighty primordial souls that oversee all of creation.
Let's break that down specifically because the numbers here are important.
They are. There are 7 gods, or great ones of karma, and 7 gods, or great ones, of creation and destruction. Together, these 14 original energies house the deep knowledge and the elemental energies of creation itself.
Let's dig into that division. 7 of karma and 7 of creation and destruction. Why those specific roles?
Well, it's about balance.
What does a god of karma actually do in this context? Because, we usually think of karma as a cosmic punishment system, like a spiritual credit score.
That is a very human misinterpretation of karma. In the context of the Godhead, karma is simply the law of energetic return and balance.
Okay, energetic return.
When the original thought asked, what can I become, it created an action. That action required an equal and opposite reaction to maintain the equilibrium of the void.
Oh, that makes perfect sense from a physics standpoint.
Yes, the 7 avatars of karma manage that equilibrium. They ensure that no energy is ever lost, only transmuted.
And what about the other 7?
The 7 avatars of creation and destruction manage the cycle of form. They take the raw materials, build a star or a soul, and when that form has served its evolutionary purpose, they lovingly dismantle it so the energy can be reused.
Lovingly dismantle it.
Yes, they learn to work together to literally make the elements that form our universe.
It's just fascinating to think of creation not as a single chaotic explosion like the Big Bang Theory sometimes implies, but as a deliberate, orchestrated process managed by these 14 avatars.
It is highly orchestrated.
And the mechanics of how they brought energy into form over time is described in the channeled records as the 4 breaths of God.
The 4 breaths.
These are the minute, specific ways energy materialize. Can you walk us through how these 4 breaths actually function?
I would be glad to. The 4 breaths of God represent the profound, sequential waves of manifestation. The first breath of God was the formation of the Godhead itself.
Okay, so building the structure first.
Exactly. This was the raw energies coming into form with the godlike frequencies of karma, as well as the ultimate formation of destruction of what the core had become. It was the setting of the foundation. Without this first breath, there is no structure.
It's the drawing of the cosmic blueprint.
Then comes the second breath of God. which brought in what we often refer to as the breath workers, or angels.
The angels come in on the second breath.
Yes. These energetic beings came in with a very specific intention to be pure light and to correct the original karma that was created through those intense initial energy cycles of asking, what can I become?
Because expansion creates friction, right?
Exactly. When you ask that question and you expand rapidly, you create friction. The angels are the balancing force, the energetic lubrication that keeps the expansion from tearing itself apart.
So they're actively managing the growing pains of the universe, which leads right into the third breath, I imagine.
It does. The third breath of God was a formation of energies meant specifically to stabilize, because the profound changes of balancing a universe bring about a kind of cosmic friction or pain.
Pain. The universe felt pain.
Imagine a physical body growing too fast. The bones ache. The universe experienced a similar ache. This third breath brought the energies, including angelic forces, needed to stabilize that massive wave of change, essentially wrapping the expanding cosmos in a soothing frequency.
Wrapping it in a soothing frequency. That's beautiful. And finally, the fourth breath. And this one caught my attention in the reading because the language used in the channel text is incredibly striking.
It is very striking. The fourth breath of God is the energy of soft waves of horror being cleared from the collective.
Waves of horror.
Yes, it was achieved through a stabilizing, calming force, a balancing energy that essentially said, let it all go and be calm.
I really want to pause on that word. Horror.
It's a strong word.
It really is. Why would the creation of the universe involve horror? We usually romanticize it as this beautiful, harmonious unfolding of starlight, but the texts specifically mention clearing horror.
Because the shift from pure, infinite potential into defined, limited matter is inherently traumatic to energy.
Traumatic to energy. Wow.
Think about it. To go from being everything everywhere all at once down into a condensed form, that restriction creates a profound shockwave.
Oh, I see.
The horror is the existential shock of separation. The fourth breath was necessary to clear that shock, to soothe the newly formed elements and souls, whispering to them that separation is an illusion and they are still part of the whole.
Just sitting with that for a second, the idea that the universe itself had to clear the intense friction of its own rapid expansion.
It is a profound realization.
It makes our own human struggles feel so deeply connected to the macrocosm. When we go through a massive life change, a new career, a move, a breakup, we experience that same existential shock, that same friction. We are all just trying to stabilize and find that calming force.
Precisely. And that intimate connection between the macrocosm of the expanding universe and the microcosm of your human experience brings us directly into the nature of the multidimensional soul.
Because we mirror that architecture.
Because you are built with that exact same architecture.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because you listening right now, you are not just a physical body walking around on Earth paying taxes and running errands.
No, you are so much more.
You are a profoundly complex, multidimensional soul operating across different planes of existence simultaneously. The sources break this down specifically into the 3D, the 4D, and the 5D.
Let's explore the mechanics of these planes, because understanding how they interact is the absolute key to dreamscaping your reality. Let's start with the 3D.
Okay, the 3D.
This is the physical plane of existence. This is where you are right now listening to this, where the elements become solid objects over time and space. But what is unique about the third dimension, and what many people misunderstand, is that it is not just one flat plane.
Right, the records state it has 14 distinct levels.
Exactly. 14 levels of 3D.
I want to make sure we really grasp this. What does it mean for the physical world to have 14 levels? Does that mean there are 14 different Earths?
Not 14 different physical planets, but 14 different vibrational densities within this physical reality.
Okay, vibrational density.
Think of a radio dial. You are in the same car, but as you turn the dial, you pick up completely different stations. This 14-level structure was designed specifically to allow for ascension frequencies.
Ascension frequencies. So we can move up.
It means you can elevate your frequency, change your internal radio dial, and ascend to a completely new level of reality, interacting with different people, different opportunities, and different timelines, while still remaining in a physical 3D body.
That makes so much sense. So two people can be standing in the exact same room, looking at the exact same situation. But because they are tuned to different levels of the 14-level 3D structure, one experiences absolute tragedy, and the other experiences a profound lesson in grace.
Perfectly stated. That is the 3D. But to change your level in the 3D, you have to understand the 4D.
And this blew my mind when I read the records. The 4D is the energetic rehearsal space.
The realm without time.
Yes, the realm without time.
Yes, the 4D is where things happen over space, but without the constraints of time. And the mechanics here are fascinating. You are living one life on Earth in the 3D, but in the 4D, your energy is living multiple lives as pretend example.
Pretend examples, like a simulation.
It is an energetic play space. Your soul spins off different timelines to test out reactions to situations before bringing them down into your 3D reality.
So, just to give an analogy for you listening to make this incredibly practical, the 4D is essentially the soul's dressing room.
A dressing room, yes.
You have a terrible interaction with your boss at work in the 3D, and before you physically react in the 4D dressing room, you try on 7 different reactions.
You try ball on.
You try on the yelling at your boss and storming out outfit. You try on the quiet resentment outfit. You try on the calmly and professionally setting a boundary outfit. You see which one fits best, which one yields the highest vibrational result, and then you wear that one out into the 3D physical world.
That is a remarkably accurate analogy.
Yes.
You are refining your decisions in the 4D until you reach a place where you are energetically satisfied.
And what happens to the other outfits?
Once your soul is satisfied with a particular timeline decision, all those other spin-off situations, the yelling, the resentment, they're dissolved. They merge back into the original timeline. The timeline converges, and that energy drops into your 3D experience as your actual reaction.
But if my soul is rehearsing 7 different reactions in the 4D right now, how do I, the conscious me sitting in traffic or at a desk in the 3D, actually tap on the glass and tell my soul which reaction to pick? Who is directing this rehearsal?
That is the role of the 5D.
5D, okay.
The 5D is the realm without time and without space. This is where your higher self resides. The higher self is the conscious, eternal awareness of all your lives.
It's the management level.
Exactly. It is the management level of the happenings of the lower dimensions. Your higher self has access to your Akashic records, drawing on the wisdom of everything you've ever experienced across all lifetimes to help guide those 4D rehearsals toward the most evolutionary outcome.
This sources also use some very specific terms for the architecture above the higher self.
Yes, to fully map out your spiritual anatomy, we must acknowledge the Oversoul.
The Oversoul.
The Oversoul is the entity overseeing all of your current 3D lives across different dimensions and timelines. It is the vast umbrella of your consciousness.
And at the center of that,
At the very center of it all, the absolute core of your being is your God Spark. The God Spark is your divine core, the pure, unaltered fractal of that original Godhead energy. It is the piece of you that remembers the original question, what can I become?
so knowing all of this, knowing that we have this magnificent oversoul, a higher self with access to the Akashic records, and this massive 4D dressing room where we test out realities, how do we consciously use it?
That is the question.
We're moving now from cosmic theory to the dreamscaping workshop. The channeled texts are deeply practical here. How do you, the listener, actively script the reality you want to bring down into your 14 levels of 3D?
The first, most vital step in this practical application is learning to become the objective observer of your own life.
The objective observer.
If you are constantly blindly reacting emotionally to the 3D world around you, you are stuck in the lesson cycles. You are acting out the first reaction your 4D self tries on without waiting to see if there's a better outfit.
Right, you're just grabbing the first shirt off the rack.
Precisely. To change the reality, you must step back.
The texts give a very grounded example of this. Let's say you are driving to work and you witness a car accident. It causes a massive delay, and it's a dense, unpleasant thing to see. If you aren't the objective observer, what happens?
If you are not the observer, your biological system immediately floods with stress hormones. You absorb the anger of the delay, the anxiety of the traffic, or the trauma of the sight.
You just soak it all up.
You match the dense frequency of the event, and suddenly you drop down into a lower level of the 14-level 3D reality. Your whole day becomes a magnet for frustration.
But the objective observer steps back. You acknowledge the pain or density in your body. You ask yourself, where am I feeling this fear or frustration? Is it in my chest, my gut?
Acknowledge it fully, without judgment.
And then you actively choose the emotion you wish to feel instead. You consciously choose gratitude that you are safe, or compassion for the first responders.
Yes.
You are no longer reacting to reality. You are selecting your frequency from the 4D rehearsal space and pulling it down.
Exactly. You are consciously directing the algorithm of becoming. And to help the listener do this systematically, the Dreamscaping Your Reality workbook provided in the source library offers specific reflective phases.
I want to walk you through some of these questions directly. You don't have to write them down right now if you're busy. Just let them echo in your mind.
Just listen and absorb.
First, we look at phase I, the self. Imagine the reality you actually want to inhabit. Ask yourself, how does it feel to wake up as your new ideal self? What does your new self do in the morning? What does your new self wear?
And we aren't just talking about a silk robe versus sweatpants.
Right. We are talking about the energetic frequency you are wearing. How do you carry your spine?
And as you build that internal somatic image, you expand outward to phase V, the theater.
The theater?
The theater of your life involves the people, the characters, and the experiences around you. Ask yourself objectively, how do you feel when you are interacting with the characters currently in your life? Are they bringing you joy, or is it time to adjust the script?
Oof, that's a big one.
If you feel anything other than neutral or joyful around certain characters, you must ask what deep-seated belief systems are keeping them on your stage. Why did you cast them in your play?
That is a tough question to answer, honestly. Why did I cast this difficult person? And once we refine that, we arrive at phase 6, the new earth.
The new earth.
This is where it all comes together. Ask yourself, where do you see yourself in your perfect reality? When you can truly feel what it feels like to be in your own personal utopia here on Earth, what the air smells like, how your body hums with peace, then that new level of Earth must manifest for you.
But how does it manifest? This brings us to the physical act of scripting.
So what does this all mean in practice? I've answered the questions in my head. I know what I want. How do I lock it in?
Scripting is taking these workbook reflections and physically writing out your ideal reality in the present tense. You write it as if you're already living it right now.
Like, I'm so grateful that my mornings are peaceful.
Exactly. I'm so grateful that my mornings are peaceful and my work is deeply fulfilling. But there is a crucial mechanism here, a spiritual law that most people completely miss when they try this.
What is it?
When you're scripting an image, let's say you want a new car or a specific house, the specific image is just a tool. It is a tool designed solely to help you find the feeling of having that desire met.
Your goal is to hold on to that feeling, that bodily frequency, until you reach what the texts call your energetic rainbow.
Yes, the energetic rainbow. It is the ultimate feeling of joyous alignment. It is the moment where your emotional frequency matches the frequency of your desire perfectly.
And then what?
When you hold that frequency long enough, your 3D reality has no choice but to shift to match it. It is universal law, as unbreakable as gravity.
Okay, wait, let me stop you there, because the manifestation community pushes the exact opposite of this.
No, they absolutely do.
We are constantly told on social media to build incredibly detailed vision boards. We are told to envision the exact Ferrari, the exact leather interior, the exact zip code of the house, and to accept absolutely nothing else.
Yes, the hyper-specific vision board.
Are you saying that by doing that, by getting obsessed with the specific 3D details, we are actually trapping ourselves?
You are absolutely limiting the universe, yes. And that is why you must eventually release the image.
Release the image.
Yeah. The image of the specific Ferrari was only the bridge to get your nervous system to the feeling of freedom or luxury or safety. Once you reach the energetic rainbow, once you genuinely feel that frequency of freedom vibrating in your cells, you must let go of the specific picture.
Wow.
By releasing the rigid image but holding the frequency, you remain open to unlimited potential possibilities that match that frequency.
So if I demand the Ferrari, I might get it, but it might come with terrible maintenance costs and a huge loan that ruins my peace.
Precisely. The universe, guided by your higher self in the 5D, might have a mode of transportation or lifestyle for you that far exceeds the specific car your limited 3D mind could imagine.
Because the 3D mind is limited.
The 3D mind can only dream based on what it has seen in the past. Your 5D higher self dreams based on infinite potential. Hold the feeling, release the form.
Hold the feeling, release the form. I want you listening to write that down later. But let's be real for a second. We have to look at the other side of the coin.
Yes, the blockages.
What if you are doing all of this? You are being the objective observer. You aren't yelling at traffic. You are scripting your ideal life. You are holding the feeling of your energetic rainbow. You've released the form, but your 3D reality is still not shifting.
Yeah, happens.
They were still stuck in the same job, same density. What then?
If the reality is not shifting, the mechanics tell us that there is energetic interference blocking the path. The signal from your 4D rehearsal is not making it down to the 3D because the circuitry is jammed.
So we have to clear the board.
This means we must move into the healing path and actively clear the board.
Let's talk about what that interference actually looks like, because the channeled records are very specific about the obstacles that stop our forward movement. They categorize them brilliantly.
They really do.
First, we have something called works of art. Now, that sounds lovely. A work of art is a masterpiece. But in this context, works of art are beautifully disguised limitations.
They are highly sophisticated spiritual warfare or deep energetic blockages placed on the soul. They look beautiful, which is why you don't fight them.
Let me give an analogy for this, because it took me a minute to grasp it. A work of art is like a golden birdcage.
A golden birdcage, perfect.
Or, in practical terms, it's that incredibly high-paying corporate job with the prestigious title. On the outside, to your family and society, it looks like a masterpiece of success. It's beautiful.
But internally.
Internally, the hours are crushing your soul, the environment is toxic, and you have no time to breathe. It's a beautifully disguised limitation keeping you from your true soul blueprint.
That is a perfect translation. The ego loves a work of art, but the soul suffocates in it.
What's the next category?
The next category of interference is injunctions. These are restrictions the soul has placed on itself, often deeply embedded in the physical body. A fascinating example from the text is a soul injunction of the liver.
The liver?
Yes.
Yes.
The liver energetically processes anger and profound, unreleased sorrow, often tied to maternal trauma or ancestral grief.
How does that actually work mechanically? How does a spiritual emotion like sorrow end up in a physical organ like the liver?
Because emotions are just frequencies. When a trauma occurs, and the existential shock, that horror we discussed in the fourth breath, is not cleared, the frequency of that sorrow has to go somewhere.
Right, energy doesn't just vanish.
Exactly. The liver's biological frequency matches the resonance of dense sorrow. So the body stores it there. The soul essentially signs an injunction, a legal document saying, I will hold this grief here until I'm ready to process it.
Well, people forget to process it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The body literally holds the injunction, and it blocks your energetic rainbow from manifesting because your core frequency is weighed down by the liver's sorrow.
Wow. And then, moving on to the third type of interference, we have a very technical spiritual term, crap.
It is as simple as it sounds. Crap is recycled stress.
Recycled stress.
It's the energetic trash left in your fields when you repeatedly encounter a situation but fail to clear the energy. If you walk into a tense meeting every Tuesday and you never energetically clear yourself afterward, the stress residue just cycles and accumulates around your aura like dust.
And finally, perhaps the most binding of all the interferences is karmic alimony.
Karmic alimony refers to energetic debts. It's credit owed to us or debts we owe to others across this lifetime or previous ones.
How does that manifest in our lives?
If you do not clear karmic alimony, you remain tied to what the records call a backdrop soul.
What is a backdrop soul?
A backdrop soul is someone whose primary role in your current reality is simply to hold you in a specific lesson cycle until the debt is paid or forgiven.
Oh, wow.
They might be the difficult neighbor, the ex-partner you can't stop thinking about, or the toxic boss. They are just the backdrop to your lesson. You cannot ascend to your new 3D reality, your new 14th level, if you are energetically paying monthly alimony to a past timeline.
So how do we stop accumulating these blockages in the first place? How do we stop signing up for works of art or taking on more crap?
The channeled advice gives us a brilliant, somewhat playful but deeply serious tool. It is called the sniff before you leap moment.
I love this concept. Sniff before you leap.
Before you take a new action, before you agree to a new relationship, a new job, or a new timeline, you must use your intuitive sniff.
What does that mean practically?
Does this feel truly aligned with your core soul frequency? Or does it just look appealing on the surface? Many works of art look deeply appealing to the ego. By pausing to sniff the energy, by feeling how your body reacts to the idea, you prevent yourself from absorbing new crap and dragging it into your energy field.
You trust the body.
Your body's intelligence, connected to your God spark, will tell you the truth. You trust your instinct over the presentation.
And for the interference that is already there, the works of art we are already trapped in, the karmic alimony we are already paying, the injunctions in our organs, we have to clear it out.
We must clear it.
And this is where we use the master clearing activation from the source library.
What's fascinating here is the sheer mechanical precision of this clearing. The Master Healing Path statement is not just a nice prayer or a wishful thought.
It's way more powerful than that.
It is a legal, spiritual decree executed across all dimensions, all time, and all space. It accesses your Akashic records through your higher self and commands the energy to transmute.
Let's walk the listener through the mechanics of this activation. When you are clearing these profound blocks, the specific verbiage is critical.
Extremely critical.
The text tells us we must state our intention to release, remove, neutralize, clear, clarify, purify, and correct all energies. Every single one of those 7 words serves a distinct functional purpose in dismantling the interference.
Exactly. You are systematically dismantling the energetic structure. You release the grip. You remove the form. You neutralize the emotional charge. You clear the space it occupied. You clarify the lesson learned. You purify the remaining energy, and you correct the original timeline.
And you have to trace it all the way back, right?
Yes. And you must direct this command to the root source. You aren't just clearing the symptom you feel today. You are commanding the energy to track back to the very first breath of God where that specific distortion occurred.
But wait, let me jump in and play devil's advocate here. Please do.
Because when we talk about deleting all this stuff, release, remove, neutralize, clear, when we clear this karmic alimony or aggressively delete these works of art, are we erasing our history? Are we going to spiritually lobotomize ourselves? I am who I am because of what I've survived. Am I going to forget who I am or what I've been through?
That is an incredibly important question, and it speaks to a very common fear. The answer is absolutely not. You are not erasing your history.
Okay, good.
The ultimate goal of this master clearing is to restore what the texts call your golden web memory system.
The golden web memory system.
This is your divine, uncorrupted state of being. The golden web memory system is designed specifically to retain the wisdom. The lessons of living light are embodied and forever remembered by the soul.
So what are we deleting? What you are deleting is the trauma, the pain, the dense restrictive frequencies, and the crap. The memory of the event remains as pure data, as pure knowledge. But the emotional anchor, holding you back, the sorrow in the liver, the anxiety in the chest, is transmuted into love and light. You keep the lesson, you release the chains.
You keep the lesson, you release the chains. That is the true essence of spiritual sovereignty. We are moving out of victimhood and into pure architecture.
Pure architecture.
And with that interference cleared out and your soul blueprint finally aligned to the frequency of joy, to your energetic rainbow, we have to seal that energy in.
Because you still have to go out and interact with the physical world.
Right. So you can walk out of this space, out of the Soul Spark Café, and safely navigate the world without immediately absorbing everyone else's density.
This is where we apply the sovereign seal. I invite you, the listener, right now, to physically place your hands over your heart center. This is your guiding center, the physical anchor of your God spark.
Feel the warmth of your hands on your chest.
I want you to visualize the subtle light that is always around you. The light we spoke of from the original Primordial Question. See it now gently condensing.
Condensing, but not shrinking.
It is not shrinking away. Rather, it is becoming more luminous, more dense, more intelligent. Feel it resting upon your shoulders, wrapping around your entire body like a living, luminous garment. It breathes with you. It is responsive. It is awake. This is your seal, the seal of alignment.
Hold that feeling. Feel the weight and the warmth of that luminous garment protecting your field. And as you wear it, I want to give you a final anchoring mantra to carry forward into your 3D reality.
Let this become your baseline.
Let these words become your baseline frequency, your new energetic set point. Everything is in my favor, always and always.
Everything is in my favor, always and always.
Breathe that in. Say it internally. Everything is in my favor, always and always.
And as you hold that sovereign frequency, receive this final blessing from the channeled records, a benediction to carry you forward as you step back into your day. I return to the world in peace, carrying the light within me.
You've remembered your true sovereign state today. You've remembered the mechanics of your own creation, the power of your 4D rehearsal, and, without a doubt, that you are the active architect of your own 14 levels of 3D reality.
You are the architect.
So I want to leave you with one final lingering question to ponder long after this deep dive ends. When you walk out the doors of the Soul Spark Café today, and you look out at the reality you are about to shape, what will be the very next breath of God that you choose to take?